For the family of Peju Ugboma, who died following an elective fibroid surgery in April, the journey to justice has begun. At the offices of Alisa Agbakoba Legal in Ikoyi, her widower, Ugboma, made his first public appearance, and in it, he set the record straight about his wife's health condition before she entered Premier Medical Specialist Center.
I'll say categorically, and with records from several hospitals, my wife had no pre-existing condition. But nonetheless, if she had a pre-existing condition, even if she were hypertensive, the doctors ran sufficient tests on her before the surgery for them to have made a good decision, especially with the fact that the surgery was elective. If she was too hypertensive to operate on, they should have left her.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it wasn't a life on. If my wife hadn't gone in for that surgery, I'm sure she would have probably been home baking right now.
Emotions were high, with Peju's loved ones laying blame for her death squarely at the feet of the involved doctors at Premier.
She wasn't given a fighting chance. She complained of her tummy aching. She complained of pains, and she was ignored. The surgeon was not there. How do you do such a surgery and you take a walk? It's because you're being mean. Arrogant. And you're not thinking about how that patient feels. And for you, it is just business as usual. But guess what? Someone's life is not just business as usual. So you have to pay for it. You will pay with everything you have. You will pay with your license. You don't have the right to even cut a human being again. You don't. And honestly, justice must be served. The doctors must be punished. They cannot go scot-free.
At this point, the family says there's one form of compensation they're interested in.
If Premier can resurrect her, that's the only compensation. That's the only compensation. The point has been made that this is not about money. It's about setting right the decrepit healthcare process and system, not just in Premier, but in Nigeria.
The legal team plans to do that with requests for an inquest, investigations, and inspections.
We've petitioned the Nigerian Medical Association. We've also petitioned the Nigeria Medical and Dental Disciplinary Council of Nigeria, obviously wanting to investigate. We've also petitioned the Attorney General of Lagos State. We've also written to the Executive Secretary of the Lagos State Facilities and Monitoring Accreditation Agency. That's the agency that gives hospitals its license to operate. So we're requesting that they investigate and temporarily close the hospital pending the investigation, the outcomes of the investigation. We've also sent a petition to the Consumer Protection Council, because at the end of the day, we're still consumers of the medical business, as it were. And we've also written to the Lagos State House of Assembly, asking for a public hearing to basically talk about the health reforms for Lagos State. And of course, in her honor, we're titling that the Peju Ugboma Health Reform Initiative.
Ugboma says he's in this for the long run.
I think there's always a turning point. If you drive it hard enough, there's always a turning point. Because a lot of people have walked the road I'm walking now, and they decided to turn back halfway. So, I mean, let's test the process.
No, we are not going to stop this thing halfway. The only thing is that we will need the support of Nigerians as a whole. It's not just me, it's not just you. Let us do the proper thing. So tomorrow, we'll be confident. Some of us who are married, we know what we go through when our wives have to go for very simple medical procedures.
And as for Premier itself, the lawyers say there are many causes for concern.
In the course of the preparation, they would notice that she's a red blood type. Now, the type of operation that she went for is usually associated with a lot of loss of blood. Why didn't they have a blood bank? It beggars belief that they didn't have blood on standby. It was only when things became bad that they had to tell the husband, go get blood. They didn't have a CT scan. They didn't even have an ultrasound scan. If you're cutting somebody, abdominal cut, it presupposes that something might go wrong and you need to go right back in. Now, to understand what's going on, you've got to do an ultrasound scan. Post-op requirements require that the surgeon would pay a patient visit. There was none. So, on the basis of all of what I have seen and read. And on the report of Evercare that ends with, I can send you a copy if you want, that ends with the word, "This is a case fit for the coroner." That is an indictment.
In between the legal arguments, discussions over medical negligence, and calls for reform, there's a husband who just wants his wife back. Unable to get that, he says he'll settle for justice. Adefemi Akinsanya, Arise News, Lagos.